Clementine's story is very emotional. It left many of us with a bittersweet heartbreak. However, throughout the journey, she was accompanied by one song that grew and changed alongside her. That song is Clementine Suite by Jared Emerson-Johnson. While the song initially appeared in the first season of the game, it actually appears throughout the seasons in different interpretations to show the character's growth. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's go where it all began and see how the song mirrors the story bit by bit. The game begins with Lee being transported to a police station, but they hit a zombie and swerve off the road into a ditch. By some miracle, Lee survives. When we were playing the game for the first time, none of us knew that the little girl he saw in the woods was going to become not only the main character of the game, but also one of the most beloved characters in the gaming industry. Her story was going to break millions of hearts just to put them back together. At this point, Clementine is still somewhat innocent. She has seen some walkers, sure, but she never had to deal with them. She believes that adults will come and fix it. That's where the music begins to shine, because it doesn't just accompany her, it is the direct mirror of her inner world. It starts with a fragile but still hopeful composition, communicating that hope that Clementine holds on to until the end of the season. It never fully resolves, just like her hope of seeing her parents.
No, but they get shot a lot.
You've been all by yourself through this?
Yeah, I want my parents to come home now.
Throughout the first season of the game, Lee tries his best not to break her heart and lies to her that he doesn't know if her parents are dead. It's a gray area. On one hand, telling her the truth could very well shut her down emotionally and make her a liability to the group. Traumatic events happen around every corner, and losing the only hope that keeps you going would be devastating even for an adult, let alone an 8-year-old who hasn't developed any healthy coping mechanisms. But the beauty of this game is that it knows what would be heartbreaking and does it anyway. At the end of the first season, Lee gets bitten, and Clementine also finds out that her parents are dead. Lee, running out of breath and on the verge of turning, asks Clementine to run away from him, leaving her alone. The music is fragile and slow. It sounds lonely, lost, and blind, just like Clementine was at the end of that season. Now, remember how the song sounds, because it changes throughout the game and sometimes it's pretty hard to recognize it. Such music is usually made with a lot of subtle orchestral elements, a few instruments here and there, and a lot of space between them until the final crescendo. So if one key element is missing, it may be hard to recognize the song. For my musicians watching, if you were to make something like this, I recommend using LBN1. It's a contact library by Spitfire. It's not a sponsor segment, I just want to recommend something that I personally use and enjoy. It's quite pricey, but if you can afford it, it's totally worth it. Anyway, let's get back to the video before we bore non-musicians. The second season is an emotional rollercoaster for Clem. Losing everyone you know in gruesome ways is enough to leave permanent damage to your psyche, especially if you are just a kid. Sarah is an example of what can happen. Granted, she acts the way she does not because of what she's seen, but because of how she is in general. She has extreme anxiety, and when faced with traumatic events, she shuts down. However, remember when I said that telling Clementine that her parents are dead could have been catastrophic? That's the kind of emotional shutdown I was talking about. The season ends by hitting you in the gut, because you either end up with a ticking bomb that is Kenny, or Jane who betrays you and hides AJ to prove a point. A maniac move. Neither option is great, so let's say you decide to leave Jane behind and go alone. The music is slightly tragic, but it has a bit of hopeful resolution, just enough to give you hope and make you think that Clem made the right choice.
Clem?
Fast forward and Clem is 13 years old. It's a miracle she survived that long, but the season starts with you playing as Javi. Before you see Clem, the game acts like she's irrelevant, leaving you to guess what happened to her and AJ. But when she finally shows up, it's a familiar face we spent the past 2 seasons rooting for. The music is heavy, bittersweet, but familiar. Almost the exact same song that was playing in the first season of the game. But now, it's darker. Just playing through that moment gives you goosebumps, even if you already know what's going to happen.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Clementine.
If you say so.
The season is mostly focused on Javi and his family, but we still get to know what happened to Clementine between the seasons and why she hates the new frontier. Remember the heartbreak part from the beginning of this video? This is the reason. Despite her young age, she was taking care of AJ, and he became the only family she had, the one that was meant to be with her forever, no matter what. And the new frontier took him away from her. I don't even want to know how many people spit in David's face when given the choice to do so. At the end of the season, hope emerges. You find out that AJ could still be alive and you will not stop at anything to find him. But Javi needs help first. Fortunately, it all works out, and Clementine takes off to find and save AJ. Although a different song is playing, it releases the tension, but just a little bit, still reminding you about the grim possibility of him being dead. Years later, you're speeding down an old road. AJ is playing in the background, but it's getting impossible to ignore the hunger. You haven't eaten in a while. Keeping AJ safe has been your one and only goal for the past years. Saving him gave you PTSD. You've been all over the place but never stayed anywhere for long. Places either fall apart or turn out to be dangerous. But that all changes when a bunch of teenagers agree to take you in and you finally start feeling at home. After some power struggles and secrets coming to light, everything seems to be okay, more or less, until tragedy strikes again. Remember this woman from the first season? She went bananas and now works for what basically is a cartel. She kills some people at your camp, takes a bunch of your people, and you have to bring them back, safe and sound. The music intensifies, the final arc is unfolding, but just as you thought that everything was over, Clementine gets bitten. The developers of the game did a great job of putting you in the same shoes you were in the first season. Just like Clementine was faced with the choice of killing Lee or running away, AJ is facing a similar dilemma now. The music comes back, the same song, the same motive. But now, it's empty. The melody is barely playing as Clementine is taking her last breaths. Despair, hopelessness, heartbreak. She did her best to keep AJ safe, just like Lee taught her. And now, it's time to pass the torch. Fortunately, Clementine survives. AJ cuts her leg, and for the first time in the whole game, Clementine and AJ have a home, hopefully a permanent one. Now, there are also comic books that take place after the end of the 4th season of the game, but we don't talk about those. I mean, how bad does something have to be that the entire community of the game collectively decided that it doesn't exist? If you haven't read them or just found out about them, I envy you. Long story short, Clementine gets bored at school, packs her stuff, and leaves. Alone. Without AJ, her whole world on 1.5 foot. If right now you're confused about what kind of fanfiction I just mumbled, you are not alone. The whole community feels the same way. That's why I'm not including them in this video. That and the fact that comic books don't have music, you know. Anyway, it's impossible to do justice to this game's music in one video like this. The story of the game and its music are a match made in heaven. It always hits you like a truck. It always reminds you that nothing will go back to the way it was. And the only way moving forward is to figure out how to survive one more day and not get killed. And hopefully, stay still, not bitten.